Kevin, nice flight over? Nice and comfortable for you?
Yeah, it's never comfortable flying, but it was, it was a great opportunity for our guys as a team and staff to come to England. It's a fabulous trip, one that I was fortunate enough to experience a couple of times as a player and now on staff. I'm really excited to be here. We understand what's in front of us. Well, certainly I do, and I guess it's my job and the rest of the staff to educate our players on the conditions here and the different cities playing at home in Australia to playing in England. It's certainly a different style of football that's played. It's much tougher, much more physical, so our boys have got to be ready for that.
Isaah, is this something that you as a player thought you might not get to be a part of? It's been so long since an Ashes game took place.
Yeah, certainly. It's but I wasn't really a part of the Australian environment. Sort of, I think they tried to get on in 2020 or 2021 with COVID, and you sort of just never know. But yeah, obviously fortunate enough once it all got up and running and all organised and that sort of stuff. It was certainly something you want to be a part of. So I think if you go and ask the other 23 Australian players, they would have said the exact same thing. And really excited for the challenge ahead. So it's been unreal.
George, you know a fair few of the players you're going to come up against, don't you? You know how tough this is going to be, this series.
Yeah, we do. It's one we're really looking forward to, but we know what Australia bring. They're known as the best and have been for a long, long time. So we're preparing well. Can't wait for what's ahead. And it feels proper. It feels elite. And here we are.
And Shaun, while Kevin's only been in the job for a couple of months, you've been waiting for this for a long, long time. Finally here.
Yeah, I took the job in 2020, and this was the first thing I saw was the Ashes series, and obviously that got cancelled. I was absolutely wounded, so the chance to get to play against the best team in the world in an iconic stadium like this, it's got the makings of an absolutely fantastic day.
We are going to throw it open to the floor. Just for the written media, these guys are going to have very, very limited time afterwards. So please get your questions away. They will be available for some one-to-one broadcast interviews, but there'll be limited time for the written media. So ask your questions. There's a microphone over that side of the room, and I'll do this side of the room. So ask away, folks.
What do you make of the Aussie team, Shaun?
Very, very strong, Steve, as I would expect. I thought the 24 has got everything covered, every position covered, and more. And then the 17, what Kevin's picked is just what we expected. It's the best team in the world, and we need to be very good on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the challenge. But I watched a lot of them individuals, what Kevin's picked, and there's absolutely the best talent.
For Kevin, how have the last few weeks been since stepping up to the role? And for you and for the team, how much is this series sort of an audition for the World Cup next year?
Not so much an audition for World Cup next year. This is prime time in our sights for the Ashes this year. When I first got the job, I rang a few of the players that, the senior players of the group, and asking them about, because there was a little bit of noise around Australia about international football and where it is on the calendar. But when I mentioned the Ashes and what's going on, they were very, very excited by it all. So it's great that this generation of players, because we've really skipped a generation, both English and Australian players, to participate in these sort of games and these sort of series. It could be once in a lifetime for a lot of our players, and also the staff involved with both countries as well. It's a really unique experience, and one that you need to attend. If you're in the world of rugby league, this is where you want to be.
You personally, has it been a bit of a whirlwind the last couple of months?
Well, a lot. Fortunately, Mal had planned a lot of and the NRL had planned a lot of what we're doing, our hotels and our training venues and the like. So, for me, it's been more about just getting a connection with the players and also with our staff, which obviously it's on a 3-week tour, it's very important that we come together quickly as a unit and as a group. We have got some great players, but if we don't come together as one, that could be not so good for us. It mightn't end the way we want it to. So that's part of my job, is to get our players focused and connected, and the staff as well.
Shaun, over here. How close are you to nailing down your 17?
Yeah, I've got it. 17. Training really well. Not really confident, but we're confident. I'm very happy. We looked slick. We looked intense. I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Can you give us any teasers as to what your team will be?
Georgia were playing.
Brilliant. Nobody's given England much of a chance. Does that add fuel to your fire?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, nobody gives us a chance against Samoa and Tonga, and which is good. You know, I do like that position. But Kevin's a smart coach. He's been around and coached a long time, and a fantastic player. He'll know what the crack is on Saturday. His team will be ready, and so will man.
How sweet would it be to stick it to those doubters, mainly ex-Australian players?
Yeah, that would be good. I know I'm not on social media, but I know there's lots of stuff being said, and it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And but within our group, within our, where we train, it feels like a club. It feels like a Super League team, and that's very hard. And Kevin will back me up there to get that club feel, international setup. So there's no Saints and Wigan and Warrington, Leeds. It's just one team, and training's gone really well. I can hear them all having a good time when they're on their own, socialising, and they're all ready and pumped for a massive game against a really, really talented team in Australia.
Kevin, similar question to what Shaun got. What did you make of the England squad when you saw it?
Yeah, obviously very strong again. World-class players. Different to my era where we see a lot of Englishmen that have come across to Australia and done extremely well in the NRL. So it is a different sort of team that we're facing to 20 years ago. So, Shaun's got obviously a very experienced coach as well at the top for the English side. And, we're certainly very respectful and understanding of the talent that the English side have. It's clear when you look at the name. So that's not been an issue for us. Our issue is sort of focusing on ourselves and making sure that we get ourselves right to play.
There's a general perception that the English crowds are a lot more hostile than what you get over in Australia. Have you spoke to the players about that and told them what to expect?
Yeah, we're a bit fortunate. A lot of them have played World Cups here and the like, but never, not too many times against the English. So it is certainly a different crowd. I've experienced that myself as a player, and you can try and explain to players and get their understanding, but when they run out here, on Saturday, they'll get the full English version of the English crowd, and it's a great experience. We need to make it a good one because the English crowd certainly lets you know if you're not going quite so well.
Shaun, historically Great Britain and latterly England have suffered many agonising, heartbreaking, late defeats, of which you've been part of as well. Have you spoken to the players about that, the later stages of the game? And from a coaching perspective, how do you instill a mentality to combat that?
Yeah, good question. I have discussed that with the players. It's an obvious thing. I don't talk about how well we played and we lost at the last minute. At the end of the game, we lost. So no matter how close we come, is irrelevant to me. What I have said to the players is scenarios about, again, the last few minutes, and this is a score and that type of thing, and the importance of making sure we concentrate and switch on for 80 minutes. Australia are so talented. There's no doubt about that in my mind. We will show them respect and make sure that our concentration will be switched on right to the very end.
The other thing I was thinking about is historically England and Great Britain have had these iconic leaders in the pack, once in a generation players. I'm thinking of Sam Burgess, Adrian Morley, Jamie Peacock, James Graham. This week in training, is there a big dog that stepped up, an alpha male that you can see as a leader in your pack? Yeah,
Morgan Knowles is good, going to the Dolphins next year, and he's been, since I've been England coach, I've always picked him. I've always picked George, Jack Wellsby. Morgan Knowles has been great for Saints this year, and he epitomises what we're about as England, about efforts and toughness, and you know, we're very proud as a nation to be English and what we're about. And I think Morgan Knowles epitomises that. He's a champion bloke, isn't he, George? He's a great fella, and I think he tells you everything about what we're about.
I think I'm the only one with a microphone. Kev, I'll just ask you one quick question. Can I take you back to 1992 when you were on the losing side against Great Britain? You've been on a winning side, obviously, but what are your memories of that day of losing? You know, you've been on both sides as a player. Can you tell me about that Melbourne game? In particular, what it felt like.
1990, we came here and lost. I wasn't playing that day, but certainly part of the squad. And it was a very disappointing loss. England came here with the right attitude, and they beat us. And again in 94, it was the same situation. We probably rolled into Wembley with a little bit off with our attitude, and again we lost. So we're going to make sure that our attitude is right for Saturday. Attitude wins, the big games and the big occasions. So we've got to make sure that we get 100% right in our attitude towards the game, which I'm sure we, speaking to the players and their mindset, it's very positive towards Saturday, that's for sure.
Kevin, there's been a bit of chat about the slightly different rules between the two countries. Are you happy with where we are? Because obviously in a tight game, one's decision here and there could make a difference. Yeah,
well, my father taught me from a very young age not to ever, use the referee as an excuse for your performance, and that'll be the case with our boys on Saturday. He's there to do a job. He'll be doing the best job that he can, and that's not our focus. We need to do the best job that we can. So the referee, I'm sure, will be a great occasion for him as well, but I don't think he will. I strongly believe that he won't decide the outcome of the game.
Yeah, one for George. It's 8 years since the two teams played. Do you have any memories of watching the previous games? Did you ever wonder whether you play against Australia, having obviously played there in the past?
Yeah, I played against them in 2016 at the West Ham Stadium, was it? Yeah, I was obviously young at the time. I was only 21, so came off the bench. Yeah, we got beat that day, so that's the thing that sticks in my memory. So hopefully can change that a little bit this time round. And I think the group's ready, to be honest. Like Wayne said before, we've beat Tonga, beat Samoa, and now it's time to play the Aussies. So
the gaffer's mentioned, both of them, the players now playing in Australia, and you're going back there, obviously. 27. You got any unfinished business there? There's a chance to show Dolphins fans what they're going to see.
Potentially, that's not signed and sealed, delivered yet. I'm still focused on the Ashes, and we'll come to that after this.
Okay. Hello, this is David here. Hope you're doing well. I just want to ask everyone on the table, I should say, about Rugby League. Obviously, the first game here at Wembley. Obviously, this part of the UK, rugby union is pretty much popular. I just want to ask, how important is it to grow rugby league, especially down south in London? And my question to the England head coach is, with the Ashes coming up really, how are you looking to sort of win a new set of fans to your team? And what can fans expect to see of your team on the pitch?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've got some community events at our hotel at the Lensbury in London. I'm really keen. As the head coach of Wigan, in my last job, we signed a couple of Londoners in Tony Clubb and Dan Sargentson, and they went on to be unbelievably good players for Wigan. So I know there's lots of athletes down here, and I love the fact that we can bring teams down here and play a game down here and spread the word of our great game. I'm very proud of rugby league. I think our sport, I genuinely think it's the best sport in the world, no question. And, the chance of coming down here and show all the good people in London what a great sport we have is fantastic. So the community events at our hotel, there's lots of kids, and they're meeting people like Kai Pierce-Paul and different players in our squad who are from down here. So it's going to be a successful week.
Isaah, just a quick one. As a rugby league player coming from obviously Australia, and you've played in some amazing finals, played some amazing games, played in stadiums all across the world, where does Wembley sit for you just as a player? And how excited are you to play in such a stadium?
Yeah, no, obviously very excited. I think just probably the history around it. It's probably the sort of pinnacle of the game. I think I've been fortunate enough to play in a lot of big games, whether it's sort of back home, whether it's, I'm trying to think of the Suncorp, Accor's the big one, but we're lucky enough to do an Old Trafford final, but I just feel like the history surrounding Wembley Stadium, how long it's obviously been going on for, whether it be the Ashes or just the Challenge Cup final, all those big events, FA Cup with the soccer, it's probably at the pinnacle. And I think any time you put the Australian jersey on, it should be the pinnacle for you. You're representing your country. But yeah, to be able to do it on this stage, it's why we're over here. It's why Kevin selected 24 of the players, because they're passionate about Australia. They want to go and put a wonderful performance in for their country. And yeah, to be able to do it on this, it's going to be very special.
Just another one for Isaiah. Sorry, mate, just over here. How much did the sort of experience of the World Cup in 2022 and that being over here as a team, bonding together, rekindle that sort of love or that kind of desire to wear the green and gold? Because it feels like since then the Pacific Championships has grown. The team has certainly kind of come together in a way that maybe international rugby league had kind of fallen off the map a little bit in Australia. It feels like after that World Cup, it kind of accelerated. Is that fair?
Yeah, it certainly did. Probably not the greatest result for England, but with Samoa making the World Cup final, that was probably a big one. And then back home, there's obviously been a lot of discussion about boys wanting to play for different countries, a lot of the Pacific Islander boys, whether it be sort of family reasons, whether that's sort of where they feel they've been drawn to. But yeah, I think the space is growing. But yeah, I think the big part is it's all the 24 players for Australia and the 24, whatever the squad is for England. Everyone wants to represent their country and do a wonderful job for them. But I feel like this is something that probably the England Rugby League sort of as a whole has been screaming out for. I feel like they're so ready for this. They've obviously had the Tonga and Samoa tours the last 2 seasons and had terrific success. And I think and I'd imagine they'd be saying in the camp they're just ready for this. And I feel like we've been building towards it too. We obviously had disappointing pack champs a couple of years ago. We got walloped by New Zealand. I think it was 30-0 in the final. But then obviously to make amends for that last year. And I feel like there's been a lot of that group that have come into this, as well as obviously some debutants as well. But it's I just feel like the international space is growing, and I feel like this series is going to help in that regard too. Obviously leading into towards the World Cup next year, but that's next year. We're just so ready for this, so excited for the challenge ahead, and yeah, no, we certainly can't wait.
Question for Shaun and Kev. It's been so long waiting. What does a victory on Saturday look like for England, and what does a victory for Australia on Saturday look like? And whoever wins it, what does it do for your squad to win that first test? From
an England point of view, we need 15 players having the best ever game. That's the level of quality in the Australian team. But I believe we've got players what can do that. They know how good they need to be on Saturday to win the game. To win it going into the test at Goodison 1-0 up is, and I know Kevin will be obsessed to get that as well. It will be a fantastic way to go into that second test, but it's going to take an almighty performance from England for us to do that. But we're doing everything we can. We're training well. The spirit's good, and we'll be giving it our best shot.
Yeah, we're no different to Shaun and his side. It would be nice to get out of the blocks with a win on Saturday, so that's what our focus will be. But it is a 3-game series, so we are focused on Saturday, as I say, and a win would be nice. But we understand it's not just a matter of rolling in here. We're up against a very tough and physical football side, and we know their coach will prepare them that way. So that's what we've got to get ready for.
Any other questions that we've missed?
What does it mean to give 4 blokes their debut?
Yeah, very nice. Those guys have earned their right to debut for Australia. They had great series, a great NRL season, all of them, all 4 of them. Some of them are premiership winners as well back home this year. So that, obviously the selection of the side comes from a culmination of, looking very strongly at the Origin series and then also into the finals and of the NRL, and that's what the squad is basically made up of, those guys that have really pushed hard at the back end of the year. Guys like Reece Walsh and Gurmit Shibasaki, terrific final series, and those guys, along with some of the guys that played last year for Australia, that won the Pacifica Championships, was very important as well. So that's been the selection criteria, and those 4 that have got their debuts have certainly earned it. It's up to them to make that jersey really proud on Saturday.
Just one last one. Anyone's happy to field this, but World Cups coming and going quite frequently right now. It has been decades since an Ashes series, and while the World Cup's obviously seen as the pinnacle of Test rugby league, is there a sense that this is something for multiple generations, players, coaches have not been able to achieve, they haven't been able to have this kind of heritage, this legacy? Do you see it as an opportunity perhaps that you're lucky that players in decades gone by haven't had to, and does it perhaps, because of that, have a greater sense of occasion over the next 3 tests?
I'll let the players answer that.
You want to fire into that?
Yeah, it's special. It's brilliant. I remember watching them as a kid, so it's not happened for a long, long time. So as an Englishman, to be playing again against the best in the world in your own country, got your family, friends, and everybody else down here is the pinnacle, and something that we're not taking for granted. Is unbelievable.
Isaiah, do you want to answer that one as well?
Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, I just feel like the history surrounding it, and obviously, I think last time I was national, I was 8, so I might look older than 30, but I'm only 30, so my memory's not that great in that regard. I'm fortunate enough that you get to see highlights. Obviously, very accessible now. You get to see the highlights and that sort of stuff, but I think you can just look back on how passionate both sides were, how much it meant to them. I know a lot of the Australian former players speak about the tours, and obviously the tours aren't as long these days, but just how much it meant to them. They're still talking about it from 30, 40 years ago. So, and that's what you want to create for this group, the group, that the Australian squad of 2025. You want them to look back on that in 20, 30 years' time and go, geez, that was just the most wonderful time to be an Australian player. And obviously off the back of that, you need to go and have success to do that. You don't look back on things fondly when you've lost. You look back on things fondly when you've had success, and that's certainly our goal at the moment. We're very excited for the challenge ahead. I've won 2 in World Club challenges against the English side, so certainly won't be taking them lightly. I know what they bring. I know I've already touched on. I know how ready they are for this, and it's going to be a hell of a challenge for us. But I think that's what makes these kind of series so special. Is the harder the challenges, the rewards at the end of it are so much better. So. This next 3 weeks is going to be a hell of a series, and we just can't wait to get stuck into it. It'll be really good.
Well, we can't wait to watch either on Saturday and for the next 3 weeks. To Shaun, George, Isaiah and Kevin, thank you very much indeed for your time. We'll see you out on the pitch on Saturday.
Thank you.